Good day everyone, I am Emelyn S. Papasin and I will be reporting the Unit 5, the teacher as an organizational leader. So we will be covering the nature of administrative since the previous reporter already discussed the two nature of administrative, the trait approach to leadership, and the second one is the situations and leadership. So I will be tackling about the behaviors and leadership and the leadership effectiveness. But before I proceed, if you have a chance to be a leader, did you ever ask yourself what kind of leader are you? And what are the things to consider to have an effective leadership? So as we go on to my report, you will get the answer of that questions. So behaviors and leadership. So Miss Palomar already discussed the behaviors and leadership. So my task is to discuss the types of behaviors and leadership. And these are several key styles of behavioral leadership. Each one involves a different set of behaviors and may be more or less effective in a certain work environment. So we have here the 10 types of behavioral leadership. So first is the people-oriented leaders, task-oriented, participative, status quo, indifferent, dictatorial, country club, sound, opportunistic leaders, and lastly, the paternalistic leaders. So people-oriented leaders focus on the behaviors that allows them meet the needs of the people they interact with, including supervisors, employees, and clients. So the people-oriented leaders, they focuses on the behaviors that allows them to meet the needs of the people they interact, like their members, employees, and clients. So people-oriented leaders build relationships with their team members to motivate them to perform well. So a people-oriented leaders, they build relationship with their team members in order to motivate them and in order to perform well. If they are motivated, they can perform well. So people-oriented leaders, they are primarily driven by interpersonal connection and communication. So like what I've said earlier, they build relationship with their team members and they communicate to meet the needs of the people they interact with. So if you are a people-oriented leaders, you have these behaviors. So if you encouraging collaboration, you are a people-oriented leader. So if you encourage your team members to collaborate each other, you are a people-oriented leader. And if you're rewarding success, you reward everyone's success. Not only yours, but including the team members. So third is observing their team's progress. So you're not just observing your own progress, but also to your team's progress. So the last one is mentoring team members. So as a leader, you're the one who guide your teams. So you're the one who mentor them. So the second one is the task-oriented leaders, who are primarily focused on setting goals and achieving goal objectives. They typically more focus on their team's final result rather than day-to-day developmental processes. So the task-oriented leader, their focus is to set goals and achieve objectives. So that's from the word task. They are more focuses on the task. They focus on the goals and the objectives in order to have a success. So they focus the result, the team's final result. They don't matter the developmental process. So the task-oriented leaders thrive a well-structured environment and often show authoritative behavior. And when we say authoritative behavior, it is controlling. So in the task-oriented leaders, you're the one who control your subordinates. The one who set the goals, determines the process, and oversees all steps it takes to reach those goals with a little or no input from the team members. So if your behavior is like this, so you are a task-oriented leader. So initiating projects, so you are the one who initiate projects. Organizing processes, you're the one who organize. What's the processes? What are the processes to meet this or to achieve these goals? And clarifying instruction and gathering relevant data. Third one is the participative leaders. So a participative leaders prioritize active communication, collaboration, and feedback. So they prioritize the communication with their team members, collaboration with their team members, and accepting the feedback of their team members. So this leadership style allows every team member's voice to be heard and considered. So in these types of behavioral leadership, a participative leaders, so the team members are heard, their voice are heard and considered. So a participative leader knows their team's strength and weaknesses and assign tasks accordingly. So if you're a participative leader, you must know your members' strength and weaknesses in order to assign tasks accordingly. So fairly, no biases. So you include your team members on your goals. So if you are a participative leaders, you are like this. You facilitate team meetings. So you're the one who facilitate the team meetings. So what's the purpose of the team meetings? To communicate with your team members, to collaborate with them in order for you to know them. And the team meetings is important to hear their feedback, to hear their voice, and to be considered. So as for constructive feedback, yes. So their feedback is heard and considered, valued. So you ask for your team members' feedback, not just focusing on your own ideas, but also what's the feedback of your team members will matter. So take suggestion for improvement. So if you want to improve, you must take the suggestions of your team members. You're not just focusing on your own idea, but also accepting what's the suggestions of your team members. And lastly, you delegate tasks to other team members. So you're not the one who make all the tasks, but you delegate it to your team members. So this participative leaders is somewhat how opposite to the task-oriented leaders, right? So the task-oriented, the leaders are the one who control everything, the one who set goals and the processes. But in participative leaders, the team members are included. They valued, they heard, and considered. So the next one is status quo leaders. So status quo leaders, they ensure that all tests are finished on time while also providing support and encouragement to their team members. So this in status quo, you make sure that tests are finished on time. You're like somewhat strict, but you're not just strict to the point that you don't value your members. So you're still support, you still provide your team members support and encouragement to them. So you encourage them and support them, but the task must be finished on time. So at the status quo leaders typically meet the needs of their team without going above or beyond expectations. So a status quo leader, they don't need to make their team members pressure. So their expectation is neutral, not above but not beyond. So a status quo leaders, they ensure they make an effort to prioritize both productivity and employee satisfaction. So that's what they prioritize with their prioritize. They're productive to be productive, but also the satisfaction of their employees are also there. So if you are a status quo leader, your behavior is like this. Distributing tasks evenly. So you distribute your tasks fairly, not just like taking all the tasks or giving all the tasks of a specific member, but you distribute the tasks fairly, evenly. So requiring regular progress reports. So like what I've said, there are the productivity. So they prioritize productivity. So they require regular progress reports. The third one is enforcing company policies fairly. So you enforce a company policies, but it's not just in favor with you, but it will be fairly. No one will be behind, no one will be at the top. So it must be, the policies must be within everyone, not by just one person, but it must be fair to everyone. So responding to feedback neutrally. So if you are a status quo leader, you will respond to feedback neutrally. You're not just, like what I've said earlier, you're not just going to above or beyond the expectation in order to meet the needs of your teams. So the next one is the indifferent leaders. So indifferent leaders, they are primarily focused on personal success and advancement. Due to the lack of cooperation, and indifferent leadership style is widely considered the most ineffective of the behavioral leadership types. So thus, according to this, that indifferent leaders are the most ineffective. So it is not effective of the behavioral leadership. So among all the types of behavioral leadership, this is the most ineffective. So somewhat how you are a selfish person. You think your own, say and your own, you celebrate your own success. Indifferent leaders, they usually oversee progress from a distance and do not contribute to their team's daily efforts. And if you are an indifferent leader, you are avoiding questions. So if someone asks you, if your members ask you about this, you avoided it because you want your own advancement. You want your own development to yourself. You don't contribute to your team members. So you procrastinating, self-preserving, so you preserve your own. You're not involving the whole team. So assigning unwanted tasks to others. So if you don't like that task, you will be assigned it to others. You're not delegate your task fairly, but you're just assigning those tasks that you are not wanted. So the next one is the dictatorial leaders. So they may measure their team members to perform well even during stressful or challenging periods. So dictatorial leaders, so they may pressure their team's member to perform well. So in this dictatorial, it's more in pressuring their team members. So they must often successful in delivering high quality results, but may experience high turnover rates due to employee dissatisfaction and burnout. It will pressure the team members to perform well. Yes, it will be successful and have a high quality result because it will perform, everyone will perform well, but the employees are being stressed, or there will be challenging periods because they are pressured to do something in that time. So in order to have a successful, to have a high quality result, even though they have a high quality result in these dictatorial leaders, but the employees, this dissatisfaction and burnout will be high turnover. So in these dictatorial leaders, they often value results than they do people. If you are a dictatorial leaders, you are setting inflexible deadlines. So deadline is deadline. So you don't consider your team members' situation. So it's not flexible. You're setting inflexible deadlines. Disregarding excuses. So yes, you don't value your teams. No excuses. Work is work. So sometimes there are businesses like that no excuses. You're not allowed to be excused. Absent is absent. Work is work. So even I have a movie that I've watched before that it has an emergency to their family, but their boss don't allow her to leave because it's a work time. So that's a very sad story that there is no excuses. Even an emergency, you're not allowed to go there because it's time for work and you have something to be done with. So ignoring feedback, so you don't allow your team members feedback. You're just focusing on your own. You don't value your members' feedback. So achieving short-term goals. The next one is the country club leaders. So it prioritizes their team members' happiness and satisfaction. So it is somehow opposite to the dictatorial leaders, right? So if the dictatorial are the dictatorial or the members are dissatisfaction, there's a dissatisfaction because of the pressure, burnouts. So in a country club, they prioritize team members' happiness and satisfactions. So some country club leaders might sacrifice productivity in exchange to improving their team's morale or workplace relationship. So in this country club leaders, they don't more value the productivity of their productivity, but they more value or improve their team morals, workplace relationship. So they more focuses on their team's relationship, about their value, about how they improve their self morally. So if you are a country club leader, so they believe that a team that is comfortable and well provided for is more likely to be successful. So they don't believe that a high quality productive you will be successful, a good result you will be successful, but they believe that a team that is comfortable and well provided is more likely to be successful. So it will matter the most of their team members that the success is not for the work, the productivity of the work, but it's improving your relationship to your teams and improving your moral values. So if you are a country club leaders, these are your behaviors. Responding to team members' feedback. So it's likely opposite to the dictatorial leaders, right? Because in the dictatorial, they don't respond to the feedback, but here, responding to team members' feedback. Focusing on employees' well-being. So as what I've said earlier, they focuses on their employees. So defending employees' interests and rights. So in here, you defend your employees' interest, your employees' rights. So you more likely have a concern to your members. So supporting the team members' decision. So if what's your team members' decision, if there is any suggestions or any changes, you will be supporting it. What's their new project or whatever. So you as a leader, you will be supporting it. So that's a country club leader. So you're just supporting your team members. So the next one is a sound leader. These are equally prioritize productivity and morals. A sound leader is more preferable because it equally prioritize productivity and moral, not just the moral but also the productivity. So they value their team members, set achievable goals, and deliver high quality results. So they value their team members, but they have also prioritized the productivity of their goals. To achieve their goals, sound leader is the most effective type of behavioral leadership. So a sound leader is the most effective. So if naatay most ineffective, which is the indifferent leader, the sound effective is the most effective type of behavioral leaders. However, it is typically difficult to practically implement. So it is difficult to implement, but this is the most effective style. So if you are a sound leaders, you encourage open communication. So like open forum like that. So you communicate to your members. Your members will give their feedback to you. So it's an open communication. You have an open minded to learn and accept your members' suggestions, your members' feedback about something. So you encourage them to communicate in an open communication. So allowing employees to work independently. So you allow your employees to work independently. So listening to and implementing feedback. So like what I said, you listen to your team's feedback. So providing training and continuing education to team members. So you provide your team members training. So in order for them to improve their morale, to improve their ability, their capabilities to do something. So you provide training and continuing education to team members. The next one is the opportunistic leader. So in opportunistic leader, it pick and choose different behaviors from the previous styles. So in this style, so the leader will pick and choose different behaviors, like what are our previous styles and behaviors? What are our previous styles of behavioral? So like we say status quo, task oriented, country club. So in opportunistic, they will choose different behaviors in order to, so they choose different behaviors in the previous. So in this opportunistic leaders, they are goal-oriented and will use whatever methods are necessary to achieve their objectives. So use whatever methods are necessary to achieve their objectives. So every methods in order to achieve their objectives, they will use it. So in an opportunistic leaders, so they can adjust and adapt their leadership style to fit a particular situation. So they will adjust and adapt. So like what I've said earlier, they will pick and choose. So as they pick and choose, so they will adjust and adapt their leadership style to that fit for their particular situation. Like for example, they might adopt a dictatorial persona in the weeks leading up to a major deadlines, and then shift to country club behaviors and shift to country club leadership afterwards to repair their relationship with their team. If you are an opportunistic leader, you may include a lack of consistency. So lack of consistent ka. So pursuing result regardless of cost. Enforcing their own standards for success and caring for their team to improve performance. Last one is the paternalistic leaders. So are goal-oriented but are willing to flexible regarding methodology. They value their team members' individual skills and often opportunistic for them to develop professionally. So in this paternalistic leaders, so they are also goal-oriented, but they are flexible in regardless with their methodology. So they value their team members' individual skills and often opportunistic for them to develop professional. So here they are goal-oriented, but they have also value their team members' individual skills. So they frequently set a softy goals and reward team members that achieve them. If you are a paternalistic leader, you are rewarding positive behavior or success. So you're rewarding your team members for their success, for your team's success. So disciplining failure. So you discipline failure. So we can't deny that every goal there's a failure. So you must discipline it in order to make it a successful. So disregarding feedback. But in this paternalistic leaders, they disregard feedback, offering leadership opportunities to promising employees. So they as they value also the team members, they will offer a leadership opportunity. So for those employees that are consistent, that is promising employees to them. That's all for the behaviors and leadership. So let's move on to the second one, which is the leadership effectiveness. Leadership effectiveness is the key analyst of organizational success of failure while examining the factors that lead to organizational success. So these are the factors that you are going to consider in order to have an effective leadership. So first, your personality. So it will always start for yourself. So successful leaders have a pleasing personality. It is the only characteristic of a good leader to influence the subordinate. So it will always start for yourself of what person are you, or what is your personality. A personality, it is the sum of a physical, mental, and social qualities. So the second one is the human skills. So it refers to the interpersonal personality. So if you have a pleasing personality, in here human skills, you have interpersonal personality. The leader must understand the feelings, emotions, and expectation of the subordinates. So interpersonality, you are the one who are going to communicate with you. You have this communication skills. You must be communicate to others. You have that kind of skills in order for you to effective leaders. So you must also understand the feelings, emotions, and expectation of your subordinates. So a human skills refers to interpersonal skills. Such knowledge will enable the leader to develop interpersonal relationships with the subordinates, which are vital in any organization. If you have these skills, interpersonal skills, you have this personality, you can build a relationship with your subordinates. So the next one is the communication skills. So 3 critical areas is the key to win trust and confidence of the subordinate. So first is enabling employees to understand the company's overall business strategies. You must inform to your employees, or you must make them understand what's your business strategy in order for them to trust you. So the second one is informing employees and sharing information with them. So if you inform your employees and you share information with them, your subordinates will trust and have a confidence to share also their ideas with you. So if you have this good communication, if you have these skills, a good communicator, you can win the trust and confidence of the subordinates. So the next one is the administrative skills. So leadership should administered as required to undertake management function such as planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. So administrative skills, as a leader, you must have these skills, right? So you have this kind of skills that you can manage a function such as you can plan. You have the plan in a situation. You can organize any data and directing and also controlling. As a leader, you have this also a skills to control your members. So not to the point that they don't you don't value them, but in a good way. So the fifth one is the decision making. So leadership effectiveness helps leaders in effective decision making. There is a need to identify the problems. Accordingly, alternation solution must be listed. After analyzing the cost benefits of every alternative solution, the leader needs to select the best solution to solve the problem. So, as a leader, you must have this decision making. It is very effective that you as a leader have an effective decision making. So if there is a need to identify the problems, you need to identify the problems, and you will alternate a solution. So it must be listed any any solution, any possible solution, and you will analyze the cost benefits or the benefits of its solution, and the leaders need to select the best solution to solve the problem. So as a leader, so you take any suggestion or any solution from your members, and you will analyze what's the best or what's the benefit of every solution, and you as a leader will be the one who choose the best solution to solve that specific problem. So the next one is the conceptual. So conceptual leadership should be conceptual, as it helps to visualize and analyze problems or situations. So conceptual is a top level leader considered a long-term perspective. So they need to handle difficult or complex situations. So as a leader, you must have the skills to visualize or analyze any complex situation or problems. So because you cannot as a leader, you don't know what's the problem or the situation. So it's not always an easy, but it has also a complex or a difficult situation or problem. So as a leader, you have this skills that you can visualize or analyze a problem or a situation, even though it's difficult or not. So the next one is the innovation. So the innovation is the leader should have the imagination. So the leader should have the imagination to develop new ideas or handle the activities or solution. So as a leader, you have this innovations, you have this imagination to develop new ideas or any or you can handling the activities or situations. So you have this kind of imagination, the possibilities of something to handle an activity. A good subordinate expect the leader to be innovative. Next is initiative. So initiative, effective leadership can take place only when the leader is at the position to do the right things at the right time without being reminded. The decision should be taken without causing delay in and inconvenience to others. So initiative. So you have your initiation. You have initiative. So as a leader, it is you have at this position that you have to do the right things at the right time. So you don't need to be reminded by anyone because you must have this kind of personality that you don't need to be reminded by anyone. You should taken without causing delay and inconvenience to others. The quality of leadership should be initiated as the leader should be initiated. Therefore, the leader should initiate the subordinate as well. So the next is intelligence. So an intelligent leader is efficient enough to make decisions and to deal with people. So if you are intelligent, you have this kind of ability to make decision and to deal with people because you're intelligent. So if there is a need to have an intellectual intelligence and emotional intelligence, this should enable ineffective leadership of taking the right decision, not only in the interest of the organization, but also in the interest of the employees. So if you have this intelligence or you are an intelligent, you have efficient enough to take decisions and deal with people. And also if you need to be intellectual intelligent and also emotional intelligence. So it's not just like your mind but also your emotions. So that's very effective if you're taking the right decision, not only for the sake of your organization but also in the interest of your employees. You're not having this decision without an agreed of your employees because it will not valued because it is not agreed by everyone. You are just doing it, or you're just making that decision for the sake of the organization, not for your employees, but it must be even for the organization as well as in the employees. So the next one is the ethics and values. Leadership effectiveness also involves ethics and values. There should be any kind of cheating or manipulating. So in a team, there must be an ethics and a values. So there shouldn't be any kind of cheating and manipulating. So it is important to have honesty, integrity, compassion, and courage among the leaders. Between with your team members and your leaders, you must honest to each other. You have the integrity, you have the compassion and courage. If you have this, your leadership will be effective. So the next one is respect and trust. So people are naturally drawn to a leader whom they trust and respect. Control-based leadership could get some followers in the short term. Coercive leaders will not earn the loyalty of the subordinates. So people are naturally drawn to the leaders that has a trust, that is trusted and respectful. So if fear and control is based on your leadership, you could get some of the followers in a short term, not in a long term. You cannot earn the loyalty of your subordinate if you fear them, if you control them. So to build a loyalty team, a leader must be trustworthy. So if you want to be trusted, you must be loyal to your team. And if you want to be respected, you must also respect your team and also respect yourself. So the next one is the delegation. The leader needs to delegate tasks efficiently. The leader needs to know each member's strengths and weaknesses and delegate responsibilities accordingly. So we already discussed it from the different styles of the behaviorals of a leadership. So delegation, you must delegate your task effectively or evenly. You must know what's the strength and weaknesses of your members, and you must, oh yes, you must delegate your responsibilities accordingly. So this would make the team members feel appreciated and recognized if you will involve them in achieving goals. So the next one is the appreciation. So appreciation, a leader should value each team member and makes each member feel valued. So appreciation, you must appreciate your team members in order for them to feel that they are valued. Praise in the public and criticize in private. So this is how you appreciate your members. Praise in public and criticize in private. So you must appreciate or you must praise your team members in public in order for them to feel that they are valued, they are their role is important and appreciated by the leaders. But if there's a failure, don't criticize them in public. Criticize them in private. That you talk to him or her privately, not in public, because it will hurt or you will hurt your you don't respect already your team members. So as in appreciation, you praise in public and criticize in private. So the next and the last one is the handling success and failure. It is very important that a great leader should know how to handle each success and failure. Celebrating the success, at the same time, the leader should learn from the failures. You can handle each success and failure. So you celebrate successes, at the same time, as a leader, you must learn from the failure. Don't just don't put in your mind that you are always be successful. You must be always successful. Always remember that they have also a failure, and by that we need to learn from it. We need to reflect from it in order for us to know, and in order for us to improve or develop ourselves as a leader. So you as a leader must learn from the failures. Remember, whenever there is a success, attribute it to the entire team. When the team face a failure, accept responsibilities for the failure. So that's what I've said earlier, that if there's a success, you celebrate from the entire team. You celebrate including your teams. But if you faces failure, accept the responsibilities for the failure. That's all for my report, and before I end my discussion, let me leave this quote from Tom Petty. So leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. So as a leaders, you don't just create a followers, you create for more leaders, because you will give them, you will guide them, you will make them improve themselves morally, emotionally, and everything. You make them valued and everything. So you just not created a followers, you created more leaders. So thank you for watching. For more information, you can click you can search the reference in the screen. So that's all. Thank you for watching.